Hey, I'm Cameron McKenzie at CameronMZNZ on Twitter, and I wanted to quickly talk to you about installing Tomcat 10 so you can start doing some Jakarta API development. So to install Tomcat, just mosey on over to tomcat.apache.org. I want to do some Jakarta EE development, which means I need Tomcat 10. So I'm going to hit on that Tomcat 10 link there. It's currently in alpha, but the steps for when it goes GA will all be the same. And I'll click on that zip link and that will download a zip file of Tomcat 10. Now, I've actually already done that. You can actually see that right there, but the second one's downloaded quickly as well. It's only 11 megs in size. It's not really big. And what you want to do is you just want to extract that. So I'm going to extract those files. Now, this is all in my downloads folder right now. That's all of the Tomcat goodness right in there. Now, I don't like that name. I'm actually just going to change that name to Tomcat 10. And I'm going to copy that into a location that's a little easier to work with. I like throwing everything into an underscore tools folder. So there's Tomcat 11 thrown into that underscore tools folder right next to my JDK 11. And that's worth pointing out that, you know, if you want to run Tomcat, it requires a Java environment. It requires a Java environment, and it also requires the Java home to be set. So before you start trying to run your Tomcat, you better open up a command prompt and type in something like echo. And how do you do this on Windows? I think it's Java home. And you better see the location of your Java installation there. If you don't see that, it's not going to work. I think JRE home will work as well, but if you're, want to play with the big boys, you want to have the JDK installed and Java home configured. Okay, now really that's the gist of it. That's what you've got to do. You just got to get that file, extract it, configure Java home, make sure you got the JDK installed, and then you can start things up. So I'm actually going to just navigate into that Tomcat folder. There we go, and you can actually see that there's a bin directory in there. I'm going to move right into that Tomcat bin directory, and in this directory there's a file named startup. So I'm just going to type startup.bat. If I was on Unix, I would use the shell script. And you can see Tomcat starts up right away. It's lightning fast. Doesn't take much to start up Tomcat. And Jetty's even faster, but Tomcat's right up there. Now, it says that it's working, says that it's running. I even see HTTP NIO 8080. That tells me that if I go to localhost 8080, Tomcat should come up, and there we go. You can actually see this is all the basic information that the running Tomcat will give me about, well, you can go into some examples, you can take a look at some JSP examples, maybe do some basic arithmetic, look at some of the source code. So this all tells me, let me see, is there anything in here that might be interesting? Well, there's the Snoop. If you take a look at the Snoop, it'll tell you all sorts of interesting stuff about the request that you're making. So yeah, it looks like everything's working here. The other thing you might even want to do if you're really crazy, I mean, I've started Tomcat, I've proved that it's installed properly, I've proved that it's working. You can even take things one step further. There's that web apps folder where you deploy your Jakarta EE war files, and there's a root folder in there. If you wanted to be sneaky, you could actually just create a new JSP file in there. You do something like hello.jsp. And then open that up in EditPad or Notepad and just type in something like, hello world, and then write in new java.util.date. There, and I'll just take that in there. So I'll just write hello world in this file and this kind of little syntax here to print out the date on the server. That file is named hello.jsp. It's in the root folder, from Cameron. You can type that in there. And now actually if I go back to localhost 8080 and type in hello.jsp, you'll actually see hello from Cameron, and it gives me the time on the server. Now the server is also my local machine, so it's the time on my local machine. But yeah, you can imagine that maybe it was a remote environment that was hosting it. But there you go. That's all you have to do to install Tomcat on your local machine. And there you go. That's how easy it is to install Tomcat 10 and get started with some Jakarta API development. Now, if you enjoyed that tutorial, why don't you follow me on Twitter at CameronMCNZ. Also, I'm the editor-in-chief over at theserverside.com. So why don't you head over there and take a look at some of the great tutorials we've got on Tomcat and enterprise software development in general. And hey, if you got the time, subscribe on YouTube.